Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of CANrace. I'm Bryce Turner alongside Caitlin Patrick and Stephen Ellis. We're here at the waterfront in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, where the festival is continuing. We've seen a Ferris wheel, live music, lots to see and do here around the city. But of course the big draw is the race weekend, where we had the NASCAR Pinty series in action earlier today. Alex Tagliani took the win in that race ahead of Andrew Ranger and Marc-Antoine Bergeron.
Yeah, so for Tagliani, he's a guy that should be winning a lot of races, and he's been at the top level, and to see him go with the drought that he has, where it's been a long time since his last victory, that was surprising. He finally got the win he wanted today. It was a tough West Coast swing, so he needed something to kind of bounce him back and push him up in the standings, and today was the perfect way for that. He goes out and wins. He took the lead, I believe, just past halfway off of Andrew Ranger. Again, Ranger hasn't actually won yet this year, and that's hard to believe. We've got 4 winners so far this year, and I think Ranger will be due for a win. Cameron, wow, I picked him to win the race. He came 3rd place. This guy deserves a full-time ride. Every time he gets put into the streets, he's fantastic.
Back to what you were saying about Tagliani, actually no, skip that. I'm going to go straight to Lacroix. I think everyone, just based on statistics, had Lacroix pegged to be the winner at this race, and then he gets into a little bit of trouble, and that's it. He's done for the day, and it broke his streak, and that was absolutely surprising. He's won 7 of the last 8?
12 entering.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is a guy who also hasn't raced, or it took a long time off of racing professionally at any level, and all of a sudden we see him come on so dominant. He's one of the best drivers we've seen in this series, and today, was just one minor hiccup. He's got a chance at Mosport to go out and get another win.
Yeah, and we've had, like you said, 4 winners now. We have 4 races left. And I think it's kind of nice to see it kind of get switched up. I think now we're going to see a lot of different racers, not just Lebay, Lacroix, and Lapsevich. And now we've got Tagliani, and I think we're going to see a couple more different winners in there.
Yes, hopefully we'll see some different winners for sure. And further back in the field, we have LP Dumoulin. He's another driver, the hometown favorite, who he really needs a win. The last race he won was this event back in 2014, so it's a long time coming for him. He finished 4th, and we had Alex Lebay, the points leader, finish 5th, followed by Jeff Dumoulin, Caden Lapsevich 7th, and for Lacroix it was 18th that he finished officially out of 20. And how that shakes up the points is Lebay now stretches it out to 23 points over Lacroix, 33 points back for Lapsevich, and LP Dumoulin and DJ Kennington even further back. What do you think for the championship down the road? Because it's stretching out a bit, but realistically, the top few still have a chance, because you never know if Lebay will have an issue, for instance.
Yeah, so Lebay probably wanted a better finish. He's usually better at the short ovals. We saw how good he was, again, on the Western swing. He didn't capitalize on the fact that Lacroix did wreck out of the race. And, he probably would have wanted to get a podium. He would have wanted to contend for that win, but we haven't seen Lebay really show his full strength on road courses. So I guess that was probably the best that could have been done in that situation. And for Lacroix, you know what? He'll need to really push on the ovals. That's something he hasn't been fantastic at, but let's not forget, he got the pole at Delaware, and he's been fast at other races. He just hasn't had the luck. If he could put together a full, great short track race, he'll close it up, because he is competitive, he learns quick, and I think it'll be really exciting to see this battle go forward, because these are 2 guys that are just fantastic drivers, 2 of the best we've seen in a long time. And again, both of them kind of came out of nowhere. Lebay raced a couple of smaller teams and really wasn't competitive until he got into the 32 car, and last year was just a big surprise, but now everyone's expecting him to do so well. And then Lacroix, again, missed a lot of time, and his first year in the series was extremely fast, but he wasn't even a full-time driver. This is now his 2nd full-time year, and he's impressive, so it's going to be a really fun championship battle.
And that's just 2 of the drivers that could possibly win. We still have Lapsevich and Tagliani, and who knows who else is going to win a race now. So, I feel like if Tagliani keeps a consistent good finishes, he doesn't really screw up, he has a potential at winning a championship. Same with Lapsevich. He doesn't really have the strength on the road courses, but we have 3 ovals coming up. And really, it's anyone's championship at this point. Lebay is leading in points, and then there's Lacroix. But if Tagliani and Lapsevich and whoever else gets a win, keeps it up, and has top 5 finishes the rest of the season, it could be anyone.
Yeah, with 4 races to go, it's still doable, certainly for drivers within 37 points. That's the top 4, and you never know when drivers will be involved with wrecks or mechanical issues, so certainly the top few have a chance. I don't know about Tagliani. He might be a bit too far back. I don't have it in front of me exactly where, but it should be lots of fun down to the wire at Jukasa. Meanwhile, here in Trois-Rivieres, we had a fun feature that we taped in their baseball stadium, and Stephen, I'm sure you had fun with that.
Yeah, it was with actually a guy who played in the NHL for many years, Marc-Andre Bergeron, last played in the AHL, and Canada for Team Canada at the Olympics. He's won the Spengler Cup with Canada, which, you know, it's at the same time as the World Juniors. There's a good chance you probably miss it, but it's still a pretty big deal. It's the men's team. He's won championships in Switzerland. He's been an incredible player for many years, and I was a fan watching him with Montreal Canadiens. I thought he was a great two-way defenseman, and getting the chance to talk to him about racing, you know, that's a major love of his. I could talk about LP Dumoulin, a guy that he's backed for a while and actually won a championship with, and his baseball team in Trois-Rivieres, which, by the way, incredible stadium. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome.
And we'll send it to that feature right now. Here is Stephen with Marc-Andre Bergeron.
So most fans know you for your hockey career, but you've got a lot of racing experience yourself too. How did you get involved in the sport in the first place?
It's actually because of LP and JF. Both of them are a great friend of mine. We go back a while, and started to follow them up and going to some races with them. And then at one point, I was like, I was helping them. In different ways, and I was like, I guess I want to give it a shot. And then I bought my own car and I started to race on my own, and I did it for 5 years. And now this is my second year of non-racing. And I'm comfortable where I'm at. I mean, I've done it. It's complicated. It's a lot of work, and I have a lot of respect for these guys that are doing it weekend in and weekend out.
Well, that begs the question: will you ever return to the track?
I don't want to say no. I loved it. It's a passion for me. I'm sitting in my seat this weekend, and I don't feel like I want to drive. I'm really enjoying watching the other guys, and even more when it's raining. It's been raining now on and off, and that feeling of sitting in my car when it was raining, I was just like, hey, geez. So no, maybe I don't know.
So you said, yeah, you've obviously got involved because the brothers. How did you kind of first meet them, and when did they kind of want to be involved with you?
Yeah, we're from the same city. I live in Trois-Rivieres as well, just like them, and it's a small town. There's 130,000 people in this city, and when you get two great athletes like these guys, obviously we're about the same age, so we get to meet a lot, and that's started at a pretty young age. And also our agent, my agent, Mr. Paul Corbet, we have the same. He does stuff for the Dumoulin team as well. So we just one more thing that just made our friendship and our easier, I guess, to meet and to build something together.
You were involved with LP's championship-winning team a couple years ago. What was that experience like? Because that must have been something completely different from, let's say, you've got experience with championships and everything. So what was that like?
I mean, it's you're more like supportive, I guess. Like you're not like not playing any specific role. You're there. You're happy for your friend. It was funny because afterwards I received like an owner trophy from NASCAR, and I was like, geez, that's it made it. It was kind of funny because I mean at the end of the day it's all LP and JF that are doing all the work, and the 47 on the car is because of me, because it's my number. But I mean, it's more for I don't know exactly what the word would be, but all the credit goes back to them, and I'm very proud. And the reason why I like to be around them is because I learn a lot with them. They're great professional drivers and great friends, and when they won, you saw the work that they have to put in, and when everything connects together, it's a blessing, and I'm proud of them.
10 years ago, would you ever think you'd be a NASCAR championship winning owner?
Absolutely not. That's incredible. I've been playing in the U.S. in hockey, and I've met some of the NASCAR guys. I've been to the Daytona for a couple times for the 24 hours or for the 500, and I've met Mr. Jim Cassidy, and he's one of the head guy there for NASCAR, and we've talked many times about that, and it's incredible. I go to I go to Daytona and I'm received like a car owner, which I guess somehow I am, but I'm not really, you know.
It's not a bad thing to have. Outside of that championship, do you have a favorite racing memory? Whether it's you in this series or other maybe other NASCAR levels?
But personally, I raced 5 years, and I've never made a podium with my car. But 2 years ago, I started racing in the Micro Cup series with Le Prix du Gros, which is he's a car dealer in our area, and I finished third in the Montreal Grand Prix. So that was my highlight of my career, my racing career, I guess. But no, for me, every year I would say this weekend here is awesome. Like it's in our city. It's where my baseball team is located. I meet a lot of the people. I have to do business with them. And seeing all of my friends on track, it's a great event. So I would say like the GP3R is a highlight all the time for me.
So growing up myself watching the Montreal Canadiens, I have to ask, have you talked to Patrice Preval about racing and maybe doing something? Because I know he raced at least in the series for a little bit.
Yeah, I did, and we're all friends. And hockey is also a small world. Like we all know each other, and Patrice and I. We were having the same passion, which is racing, so we had the chance to talk about it quite a bit. And he's a great driver. He's been racing some much better car than I did. I mean, he's been driving the Ferrari Challenge and some pretty cool cars. So I envy him a little bit. I wish at some point I had the chance to drive a car like that. It's if at any point I go back to racing, it would be with a car like this. I don't want to build my own car and try to get a Mazda RX-8, having over 300 horsepower with the wheel and just rebuilding everything. I think you just need to go with a good factory car, and that's the easiest way to go to race weekend for sure.
Yeah, if you do return to racing, is there a certain race you really want to compete in?
Well, this one here for sure. I mean, I'd like to go like a couple spots in the U.S. too, like some pretty cool racing events, like the 24 Hours of Daytona. Like, why not? That's something like to prepare and to if you take the money equation out of the picture, because the downside of racing is always money, and it's such a heartbreaking portion of the sport, because it's such a great sport. There's so many people that would love to do it, but at the same time it's just money, and it's unfortunate because it's a passionate sport, and there's so many more people that would, like, you're looking at this series this weekend. There's some series that have 15 cars. I'm sure, like, if you take everybody that would want to do it in the stands, there'd probably be 100 cars on the track and be such a better show, but it's not the way it is.
Yeah, it's an expensive sport, but
yeah,
that's how you drive it. Now, what would you say is tougher, doing 3 wide going into a turn at a track like Trois-Rivieres, or going one-on-one with Sidney Crosby?
Oof. Definitely more risk of injury going 3 wide in the turn in Three Rivers with all these walls. Jesus, I've met them too. I've destroyed my car here, going a rear end at the end of the straight, and that wasn't pretty. My Mazda RX had no more room for a grocery to put in the trunk. Let me tell you that. But no, Sidney Crosby is the best player in the world. So now I would definitely choose to go against Sidney Crosby. I might look bad, but I wouldn't definitely probably not hurt myself. But here, going 3 wide, there's some pretty serious consequences.
Yeah, a lot less dangerous going against Crosby.
Yeah.
He'll just make a quick move, see what happens. It's tough. Yeah, I can't imagine. So you've obviously been a fixture in the Trois-Rivieres sports scene with baseball and everything. What do you like the most about the city?
I mean, it's a very nice summer city. It's I don't know if you had the chance to go downtown, but the Desforges Boulevard is tons of little bars, tons of little restaurants. They're locking down the street, so people are just walking throughout the downtown area, and very, very friendly. It's a small town, huh? So people are very familiar with each other, and we're close to Montreal. We're like about an hour and a half to Montreal, about the same distance to Quebec City. So very central, very easy to move around. There's no traffic. It's an easy-going city. So for me, it's always been my hometown. I always kept my house here. It doesn't matter where I played in the world. This is always where I came back in the summer, and yeah, that's what I like about my city.
It's a very beautiful city. So you've raced, you've played hockey, and now you're involved in baseball. So what do you like about baseball?
I've owned the Trois-Rivieres Eagles for 5 years now. We're 3 in it, 2 of my partners. And the reason why I joined the baseball organization and I got involved into baseball was to really learn the business side of the sport. I mean, I've been in sport my whole career as a player, and I felt like this is what I know the best. This is, if I want to have a business in the future, most likely I'd like to have it in sport because it's what I know better. And I figured starting baseball with some strong partners, and that would be a good way to start. And now it's been 5 years. I'm a president of the team, so I'm seeing everything. I'm overlooking at everything, and this is exactly what I wanted to get involved for. And it's been a fun ride. It's a tough business. You need to be very diligent on the spending and on the partners. But I mean, it's just like any other business, I guess.
Would you say it's more fun than maybe watching the Blue Jays right now?
Oh, the Blue Jays, it's such a tough sport. I mean, like, we've been struggling this year as well. It's a very momentum sport, and once you lose it, it's just really hard to get back on it. And I hope it was such a fun end of season last year for them and for the whole Canada. I guess it was right behind them. So I hope they pick it up and somehow they make it through. But that's sport.
Would you like to see a baseball team in Montreal?
Absolutely. I think you're seeing like people are really in it. Like Mr. Coder, the mayor of Montreal, is really in for it. So why not? I mean, it'll help everybody. I mean, for us, I don't see it as people are not going to come here. They're going to go see the Montreal Expos. I think it's just going to create more momentum, more baseball fan, and I think that's the way you build businesses. So hopefully at some point we'll see an MLB team in Montreal.
Great. Well, thank you very much for doing this, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Here's a look at the schedule, where we'll be racing already the NASCAR Pinty Series Saturday night in Nova Scotia at Riverside International Speedway, a track modeled after Bristol, and funny enough, the same night as the Bristol Cup race. So practice will be taking place Saturday at noon, starting at noon Eastern Time. Group qualifying set for 2 o'clock, and the race itself at 7. It's the bumper-to-bumper 300. So that will do it for our coverage here from Trois-Rivieres on CANrace. Alongside Stephen Ellis and Caitlin Patrick, I'm Bryce Turner. Have a great day.